If you've been checking Instagram, Snapchat, or any fashion site in the past week, then you're aware that it was Fall 2016 New York Fashion Week, and the top designers did not disappoint this year with the right looks for the coming year. And joining us now to tell us all about New York Fashion Week is our fashion contributor, Dara Ambrose. Thank you so much for coming in. So you were in New York.
Yes.
You were in the action.
In the action, in the
How
cold.
was it?
It was incredible. Of all the cities in the world, I haven't been to international fashion weeks, but New York is just so behind it in every aspect. Like the whole city gathers around fashion and people come out in droves. It was so bitterly cold, but still, like, street fashion is my favorite thing to see, and people coming out in their style and showing that is really cool.
Cool. Well, let's talk about some of the styles. First off, one thing that I, absolutely love is borrowing clothes from my husband, borrowing clothes from the boyfriend. So let's talk about this.
Yeah, so what we saw is a lot of suits. The tuxedo suit, making it sexy without anything under, but then really kind of playing on that frilly blouse kind of top underneath it. You see a lot of suits, a lot of ties and vests. And pinstriped. Donna Karan showed this really cool pinstripe with like this destructive leather top underneath it, but it was like kind of that masculine feel, but then making it really sexy.
Like I feel like pinstripes went out, and now they might be kind of making a comeback.
They are.
And I love the suits. I love it when women wear suits on the red carpet. I always think that's so beautiful. Now, some of us might not want to wear the fur, but faux fur was definitely a thing.
Yeah,
right?
faux fur is huge. The city was covered in fur. A lot of the fashionistas and bloggers were out wearing their fur jackets and fur coats. I was walking down Fifth Avenue and there was a man in his fur jacket, and I was like, I just want to stop you and take a picture of it because it's so New York. I didn't. I let him pass by, but it was a mental picture in my head. But furs, and you're seeing color, like just pops of color all over the place. So it's not your typical black, white fur soles or whatever. It's, burgundy and teal. Cool. And then I think people think like, well, if I'm wearing a fur, then I don't really need to wear much else. And so a lot of designers, you see these little mini skirts with it. You saw, little dresses and thigh-high boots. But then the big piece is the fur.
So when you rock the fur, does it have to be a fur jacket, or people like have fur vests and just?
Yeah. So Oscar De La Renta actually paired a fur vest with a really cute mini skirt. But then Anna Sui she does that 70s vibe, boho chic. Yes. And so she did the whole big shaggy fur.
I like it. Okay, cool. Next up, we're talking sparkle, we're talking glitter.
Yeah, and you see a lot of that in the autumn-winter lines. But what I saw a lot of was head to toe. It's typically, the ball gowns that you'll see, sequins and beads. Blondes, they did this whole kind of, urban look where it's pants with sequins. You see a lot of metallic material. So it's woven material that have kind of like, I think of like tinsel, like thread through it. Yeah, so it's not just the typical sparkle that comes from sequins, but more of the material itself that's got that metallic.
Now, is this something that's more like head to toe you're wearing sparkle?
Yeah.
Or just like one little pop?
So in the past, you've seen just one little pop. So usually it's beadwork within or sequins within, but what I saw, it was a lot of head to toe looks and a lot of pants. So you have to kind of think of that pants. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And pairing it like with a suit jacket. That would be a really fun way to pull off that look.
Very cool. And then the oversize me look.
Yeah. So last month I talked to Chad about guys wearing these really oversized looks. Well, Marc Jacobs did this whole line, and you have to think too, a lot of what you see on the runways at New York Fashion Week is not going to really translate down to ready to wear. So you kind of
take the same idea and then you make it more for yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Some of these pieces, like there's the one look that it's like, it looks like a paper doll cutout. It's almost like too big, but it's beautiful elements and very eye-catching. And then you see a lot of feminine flair to it, like bows and little ties and things and colors. The one really cool thing that typically doesn't really translate a lot. You see a lot of muted colors during autumn winter.
Yeah.
I saw so many pops of color and bright, vibrant colors.
So we're keeping the color throughout.
Exactly.
All of the seasons.
Yeah. And what we're talking about, so autumn, winter, we're talking about looks for next autumn and winter. Some of the things that have been coming out of the fashion scene is that a lot of designers are going to go consumer direct. So instead of waiting 6 months to start doing their lines, Burberry, Tom Ford jumped on this idea. You'll see in September Fashion Week, they're going to create lines that are going to be direct to the consumer within 6 to 8 weeks.
That's
because
great.
what we're seeing happen is the fast fashion companies like
Yeah.
Zara and H&M,
Yeah.
they're seeing what's happening on the runway and they're getting it out in the stores right away. So those high-end
They're
designers
kind of
are
missing
losing
out on
out.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you see it and you're like, I want to buy that right now.
Exactly.
And then sometimes, you know, if you wait your 6 months, you might even forget about it, or you're just like, all right, I want it right now.
Now. Yeah, exactly.
I like it. Cool. I like these. Thank you so much for coming
Sure.
in. You'll have to dress me someday. Maybe I'll get a big fur jacket. Well, if you guys want any more information about Fashion Week or a recap of what we talked about here, we'll have it at casa.com. But for now, we're going to send things.